Well, here's a few news articles that I thought were interesting. So the Russians clobbered the satellite, and they shot down one of their own satellites and created a hazard where the people on the International Space Station had to hide. But here is the Russians' response to all these complaints, saying they had it all figured out. And here they shot down the satellite, and they claim that this video shows their projection, how it was going to miss the International Space Station by at least 40 kilometers. That's their argument. Therefore, there was nothing to worry about. And so anyway, it did not in fact hit the space station. But the U.S. government, NASA at least, has greatly condemned this, saying it's a terrible thing to make more junk in space and it's going to degrade space travel. Anyway, hopefully they'll knock it off and not do it again. This one got a lot of attention, although I'm not quite sure what to make of it. Apparently, you can upload stuff to GitHub. Now, of course you can. Apparently, you can also schedule some kind of automatic uploads to GitHub, which I've never done. And apparently, some people upload their entire home folder, which includes the Firefox cookies files, to GitHub. And they reported this as a vulnerability to Firefox or to GitHub, and they both said, we really have nothing to do with this. This is just people abusing our service. GitHub didn't take it seriously, they say. So anyway, apparently there's a simple dork. You can go to GitHub and search and find a bunch of people's other authentication cookies. But I really don't understand how you would do this. This reminds me of a similar problem when BitTorrent was new. Some people would just share their entire C drive on BitTorrent. And that was how Air Force Two's plans leaked to militants in Iran through a helicopter contractor that leaked it in the time of Obama. Anyway, apparently thousands of people are doing that. So you can subscribe to this thing on Twitter, and it will take tweets and decide how significant companies are based on how many people are tweeting about them with a hashtag tweet. And is something wrong with the audio? Oh yeah. Well, it doesn't look different. Let me know. Actually, it looks okay on my bars here. I might be able to... Oops, let's see. Properties. And, there's probably some way to adjust it, but I probably can't figure it out. Nope. Okay. Normal for you. Glad to hear it because I set it up long ago. All right. Anyway. But, yeah, it does seem a little quieter than usual. And I'll try just moving it closer. It might get us through the night. It does seem like something has changed, and I do not know how to change it back. This thing I use is really quite complicated. Yep. The volume is hidden somewhere in this complicated OBS thing that it's like Photoshop. It's got many, many filters and buttons and stuff, and they don't put the volume anywhere you can find it. You have to go Google and find videos and stuff to figure out where they've hidden everything. Anyway, so you can get Twitter's opinion about the stock market. I'm not quite sure what the point of that is, but anyway, this company called Cryptocom is like the number 10 crypto marketplace, but they decided to promote it like crazy. And they have put a video on their homepage, Crypto.com, and it has Matt Damon marching around referring to his movie with him on the moon about how you'll somehow be saving the world if you use crypto or something. And anyway, they've also bought 20 years license to rename the Staples Center in Los Angeles the Crypto.com Center. So they're convinced they're really going to succeed with all this marketing. And maybe they will. That's the problem at the crypto space. It's all sort of based on nothing, so popularity is everything. It's sort of like the entertainment space. Later tonight comes the lunar eclipse, the longest in 500 years. So it'll be going on any place where it's dark. You'll be able to look up and see it. The whole United States, for example. So you can go out late and take a look at that tonight if you like. Bill Gates is building a small nuclear reactor in Wyoming to try to provide an alternative to coal. And so it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. These small reactors are all the rage these days. And a lot of people think that nuclear is our only option now because we have to avoid the greenhouse effect. That's probably true. So Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, has decided that the world has to save youth from Bitcoin. So doesn't really explain why he hates that, but Bitcoin is somehow terrible. So the government has been looking for at least 70 years, to my knowledge, for something that marijuana does that's bad for you and not finding it. Now they claim they've actually found it. If you smoke a lot of marijuana to where you're actually diagnosed with cannabis use disorder, it causes heart attacks in young adults, they say. So we'll see. It's not a very large effect, and I imagine they need other studies to confirm it. But the government has been very, very frustrated for many decades because they want to tell people to stop smoking pot, it's bad for you, but when you compare it to anything else like alcohol or tobacco, it doesn't seem to be very bad for you at all by comparison. Anyway, Apple got in a lot of trouble. Everyone is mad at them because they made it so you can't change the screen in your iPhones anymore. The new screen won't recognize your face. And now they're going to sell official Apple parts to let anybody repair their own devices. So that might be a way to allow people to fix their own stuff and still make profit for Apple, pleasing everybody. We'll see how that works. All right, let me see if there's anything else good here. Oh, nothing very exciting. This one I thought was kind of cute. There is an idea that some people have that in the early days of the Big Bang, small black holes were created that are the size of atoms. And they're floating around everywhere, and maybe that's the source of all the dark matter. So if that's true, there should be a bunch of like needle-like puncture wounds going through the Earth and through the Moon, blasting right from one side to the other, digging a tiny narrow hole. And they say it would leave a different kind of crater, and they're looking to look for that in the Moon. So that's an interesting idea. 80% of all the mass in the universe is some kind of invisible stuff, and nobody has much of a clue what it is. There's a series of competing guesses, but it's very clear that the stuff is really there. You can watch it bend light. There's some kind of dark stuff, which is most of the universe, and we don't know what it is. So this is the new theory for it that I've heard. The other one was weakly interacting massive particles called WIMPs. But we don't know what that stuff is. There's something heavy out there making up most of the universe. All right.